Teaching number 170. When you think of the torments I suffered on the cross, you are horrified that human wickedness had reached such extremes of cruelty, and I tell you, that pain and the chalice that I then drank, was not the greatest bitterness. The greatest pain for me was to see that, being among my children, they did not want to realize who I was, that I was revealing the truth to them with words full of light, and to see that they rejected and denied me, and that of pouring out my love into their hearts, while they mocked me and blasphemies against me flowed from their lips. The last breath I exhaled on the cross was the divine forgiveness that over so much misery and so much death, flowed from my heart, but my passion did not end when I exhaled that sigh. I had told you that I was life, and my spirit in eternity continued to receive the ingratitude of all men. They discussed whether or not I was the promised Messiah, analyzed my works to see if they were the confirmation of what the prophecies had announced, and while some came to the conviction that I was the promised one, others, the materialists, those who only worship matter, those who had interpreted the prophecies according to their human ambitions and conveniences, those continued to deny me. How blind were those who, having heard my words of life and having seen my powerful works, could not come to understand that only God was capable of carrying them out. Today you can say that the whole of humanity has recognized Christ as the Messiah that the Father had promised to humanity from the earliest times. However, men do not cease to deny me, to ignore me, and to offer me in exchange for my love, the gall and vinegar of their ingratitude. Today they no longer doubt Jesus, but many argue and still deny my divinity. Some attribute great spiritual elevation to me, others affirm that I am also walking along the path of the evolution of the Spirit, in order to reach the Father, but if it were so, I would not have come to tell you, I am the way, the truth and the life. I know your reflections, your philosophies. I know that for you, only a spirit incarnates that needs that test to achieve its elevation and perfection, and this prevents you from believing that the divine Word became man. I know that you do not conceive that the divine being could feel pain, and that is why humanity, seeing that Christ experienced it, denies that he could be the promised divinity. Ah, my beloved children! If you could come to understand that the incarnation of the Word on earth is the greatest expression of divine love, it was a yearning for humility before you and a lesson in my desire to limit myself, to make myself small, so that you would feel me more as yours and closer to the Father. But of that great pain, how little do you know? You only think about the material, about the flesh that suffers, about the anguish of the spirit, but you fail to understand that as long as there is no harmony between human beings and their celestial Father, pain will have to exist among you, and what pain can you suffer that is not felt in your Father? Do not think that I come to defend myself from your judgments, nor to ask you not to deprive me of that divine essence that you are denying me. I have come in this era to tell man that it is spirit that judges me. It is enough that it is your small human reason that wants to read and penetrate the great book of life, which was written by the divine Spirit for your spirit, because this will be the one that reaches immortality and not matter. Behold, I come to give these lessons through clumsy and simple creatures so that you may give them credit, because if I had delivered you through knowledgeable and prepared men, you would take these revelations as one more theory of the many that have appeared on earth in these times. Those who have been moved by my word in this time, are those who have risen up like zealous laborers, fighting tirelessly inspired by my teachings. They do not open their lips to tell me, Master, here we are with you, because they know that in compliance with my law, they are with me everywhere, and tomorrow they will be the guides and spiritual messengers before humanity. In the world, men are already awaiting the arrival of the apostles of peace and light, of you who have been with the divine Master, who are the ones who will bring the good news to hearts. You are still on trial and in preparation, putting my lessons into practice, saturating yourselves with my love and penetrating yourselves with my work. These are the last years of my communication. After 1950, when I have lifted my word, you will remember it and your heart will be filled with sadness, if you did not know how to take advantage of it, but in truth I tell you that I will not turn away from you, only the way of communicating will change, and I can even tell you that I will be closer to you, because the time of true spirituality will come. You will continue in spiritual communication with me. Recognize how simple my doctrine is, how understandable my law is, the same one that Jesus the Galilean came to teach you. I have not come to judge you yet, but to point out to you once again the path that leads to me. Now you are disciples, tomorrow you will be teachers and you will teach with words and deeds what I have revealed to you. Men and women, you will be teachers of high morals. Think that you will have to face the religions among which you will do great spiritual work, because faith has faded in many, because hope has disappeared, and it is because men do not know each other, nor do they have charity for themselves. But, for you to preach my truth and speak of love, you will have to purify yourselves. In the second era I said to my disciples, if any of the members of your body be the cause of your sin, cut it off, that is, even at the cost of pain and sacrifice you must be clean. To you I say, cleanse your heart, do not let passions take root in it. Clean the glass inside and out. Let your heart beat to the rhythm of my love, and your brothers will have to recognize you by the whiteness of your spirit and the purity of your feelings. Clothe yourselves with calm, forgive and you will be forgiven. Live in peace with yourselves. See how many of your brothers await the coming of the Messiah within their idolatry. Look how many in their ignorance believe that I will only come to unload my justice on the bad ones, save the good ones and destroy the world, without knowing that I am among men as father, as teacher, as brother or friend, full of love and humility, extending my charity to save, bless and forgive all. That is why you are developing your gifts under my teaching, to give proof of my new manifestation, either by taking away the pain of the one who suffers, or by teaching the path of light to the lost, or by raising the dead to the voice of, get up and walk. You will destroy the concept of death and teach the way of true life. When you speak of my work, do so firmly, express at the moment of your inspiration what the heart feels. Prepare yourselves, because I want to speak through your lips to humanity. Live alert without moving away from my teaching, so that you never see yourselves involved in the confusions of humanity. The group that gathers to listen to my word is still small, but I take it on behalf of all humanity and give it my teaching as I have been doing since I made my will known through my daughter Damiana Oviedo through your understanding. What I have given you in this way have been lessons of wisdom that you should keep like a precious jewel in your heart, because its essence is love. I bless you because you are tireless in receiving me. I want that as I have come to teach and guide you, you guide and teach your brothers. I have granted you the gift of healing pain with my balm, which is charity. You are witnesses of the way I have come to communicate. Tomorrow, when this word no longer comes from human lips and this grace has disappeared, you will remember with love this time and these manifestations. Then you will testify what you heard and saw. After 1950, men will ask you in what way the word of the Lord was manifested, and you will tell them that it was in a manifestation full of humility, with simple and understandable language for all. You will be listened to with interest, and the books that will remain of my lectures will be read with avidity. Under different forms I have come to teach you through the times, but it has always been the same doctrine that I have taught you. It first kindled faith, so that you dignify yourselves before me, and finally so that you can achieve the reward of your merits in eternal life. What can you make me present in your heart that I cannot contemplate? I hear everything and I know everything. Watch and pray, because the wolf lies in wait. Do not judge those who have fallen into temptation during the journey, rather, invite them again with love to resume the march to achieve progress on the path of evolution. In the second era, a woman who was tempted to fall into sin, was judged in the middle of the street by the mobs. Jesus happened to pass by. Those men accused the woman of adultery and tried to kill her. Then, turning to the master, they told him to prove it. Lord, this woman has been caught in adultery, and the law of Moses says that she must be stoned to death for the people. What do you say? To which Jesus, contemplating them with pity, replied, He who is clean from sin, cast the first stone. The light of that word illuminated the spirits, and feeling all imperfect and unworthy to judge a fellow man, they withdrew ashamed, leaving the square clean. Then Jesus asked the woman, who was lying on the ground, Woman, where are those who accuse you? They are gone. Get up, go and sin no more. Truly I tell you that every cause is only for me to judge it. I invite you to study my word, and if you want my peace, keep my precepts so that they serve as your guide at all times. People, make charity your flag. Whoever wishes to work on my land, should adopt charity as the motto of his work and will have a great mission to carry out. The lands where the pain has spread, are very vast, and the seed of love and charity that is stored in the heart of those who have to get up to sow is very little. My comforting spirit is poured out among all those who are going to carry out this great work of charity in the world, but that consolation has also been deposited among the spiritual world, in the beings that have been destined to shed their light in all the paths of the earth. When I speak to you of my spiritual realm, I am referring to those hosts of obedient beings as true servants, who only do what the will of their Lord commands them. Those are the ones I have sent among you, to be the advisers, the guardians, the doctors and true brothers among all men. They do not come to cry because they carry peace within them, they do not come to ask questions, because the light of their evolution and their experience in long journeys has given them the right to shed light on the understanding of man. They are opportune in their help, solicitous and humble, to any call or need. I am the one who has commanded them to manifest among you, to give you their lesson, their testimony and their encouragement. They are walking ahead of you, so that you find the path clean, and lend you their help so that you are not going to faint. Tomorrow, you will also be part of that army of light, which in the infinite world of spirits has been working only for the love of their brothers, knowing that with this they glorify and love their Father. If you want to resemble them, consecrate your existence to good. Share your peace and your bread, receive with love the needy, go visit the sick and the captive. Shed light on the path of your brothers who grope in search of the true path. Fill infinity with noble thoughts, pray for the absent, and prayer will bring you closer to them. And when death stops the beating of your heart and the light goes out in your pupils, you will go to wake up to a wonderful world for its harmony, for its order and its justice. There you will begin to understand that the charity of God is what can compensate you for all your works, trials and sufferings. When a spirit arrives at that dwelling, he begins to feel invaded by an infinite peace, he instantly returns his memory to those who still live far from that bliss, and in his eagerness, in his desire that those he loves, come to possess that divine gift, joins the spiritual hosts that fight and work for the salvation, well-being and peace of their brothers. To prepare your heart and give strength to your spirit, my voice encourages you on this path of trials, which you have already verified that give strength to your spirit. Whoever has strength, will be able to impart it to whoever feels weak. Soon you will see the arrival of multitudes from other countries, who will come to this nation where the Master manifests. The light of my wisdom will awaken men from their lethargy, and you will see them evolve spiritually and mentally. This step will be beneficial for humanity. The nations will fix their eyes on this part of the earth and will come to know my work and my word, which will have been printed, because by that time the minds of those who have been spokesmen will have been closed for this communication. The enclosures that have gathered the great crowds will remain open after my departure, so that the disciples continue to gather there to study my word. They will be the ones who watch as guardians, await the arrival of the last ones that I am announcing today. If you are in your position, they will recognize the greatness of what I have revealed to you. If you are not faithful to this mandate, it will be misery and calamities that receive those who, in search of peace and light, try to approach you. I also want to teach you to fulfill your duties towards those who govern the world. If you want their decisions to be favorable and just for their people, you must help them with prayer. If instead of complying in this way you abandon them and dedicate yourself only to criticizing their determinations, you will let their spirits drop in the fight and they will be exposed to harmful influences. Truly I tell you that since the first days of humanity, man had the intuition of carrying within himself a spiritual being, a being that, although invisible, manifested itself in the different works of his life. Your Lord has revealed to you from time to time the existence of the Spirit, its essence and its mysteries, because even carrying it in you, the veil in which your materiality surrounds you is so dense, that you cannot yet contemplate that which is more noble and pure in your being. There are many truths that man has dared to deny, however, the belief in the existence of his spirit has not been one of those that he has fought the most, because man has felt and has come to understand that to deny his spirit, would be to deny himself. Human matter, when it has degenerated because of its passions, its vices and its materialism, has become a chain, a blindfold of darkness, a prison and an obstacle to the development of the spirit. Despite this, has never lacked in its hours of trial, a flash of inner light to come to his aid. Truly I tell you that the highest and purest expression of the Spirit is the conscience, that divine interior light that makes it be among all the beings that surround it, the first, the highest, the greatest and the most noble. Master, you ask me in silence, why do we know so little about the Spirit? Why do we know so little about ourselves? And the Master answers you, because you have devoted yourself more to what the world offers you and you have not consecrated yourselves to the study of the imperishable, which is your spirit. That same spirit, before the beauties, before the wonders and the delights that life provides, temporarily renounces the enjoyments that its own development can provide. However, I must tell you in truth, that you are not going to believe that matter is more powerful than spirit and that this is the reason why it has descended until it materialized. No, the spirit is incomparably stronger and will never cease to be so, but if it has fallen, it has been voluntarily seduced by the attractions of a world that, albeit fleeting, offers it through the senses of the flesh a fruitful life in pleasures and temptations. It is natural that your materiality prevents you from knowing yourself and does not allow you to manifest your gifts through your human part. Because the material nature seems to be the most opposed to the spiritual, however, when both come to harmonize in you, you will come to see that your material nature is like a clear mirror that reflects the spiritual and even the divine in all its beauty. Seek my presence in the works carried out by me and at every step you will be able to find me, try to listen to me, and you will hear me in the powerful voice that arises from everything created, because I find no difficulty in manifesting myself through the beings of creation. I manifest myself in a star, in the fury of a storm, as well as in the soft light of an aurora. I make my voice heard in the same way in the melodious trill of a bird, and which I express through the scent of flowers. And each expression of mine, each phrase, each work speaks to all of you of love, of compliance with the laws of justice, of wisdom, of eternity in the Spirit. Why have you not been able to show yourselves in all your spiritual fullness, in the great beauty of your spirit, having had power over the material? For having allowed yourself to be carried away by the passions of the world. Therefore, do not run away from the study and practice of my teaching, believing that by this means you will achieve greater spirituality. You must learn to deserve it with wisdom and you will have reached the principle of universal harmony in which you will know how to let your spirit manifest itself. Interpret and comply with the law and with it you will prepare yourselves to come to dwell in the superior mansions of spirituality. As long as there are material worlds, it is necessary that the spiritual world continues to vibrate and shed its light on them. Consider that if you have not been able to dominate a fragile envelope now, what mission can I entrust to your spirit when it is dwelling in a valley of greater spirituality? Only I can give you these lessons, O humanity. What man could tell you what I have reserved for you in my Arcanum? Meditate and pray, O disciples, so that my teaching leads you to the reconciliation of the spirit with its envelope. My peace be with you.